Hey guys, what's going on? It's Meshi with Path to Wellness with Meshi. Thank you so much for taking the time and joining me for another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the new moon as we enter into Virgo, and it's happening today as of August the 30th, 2019. So I just thought I would give you some of the lowdown on what you might be able to expect in this brand new lunar cycle. And if you are brand new to lunar cycles, I will kind of give you a little breakdown of like what's it all about and why you would care. So if that sounds good, then we can just get started. But before we do, I wanted to take a moment to welcome you if you are brand new to this channel. I'm so glad that you are here. We usually chat about 2 to 3 times a week on this channel, and once I release a vlog update as well. So we usually talk about zero waste and conscious living and spiritual practices, and talk about lunar cycles and how it all kind of affects you. And ultimately, it comes down to what can you do to live a more consciously driven life. So if that sounds good, consider subscribing to the channel because you're going to love it here. But without further ado, let's dive right in on what you can expect in this new moon cycle in Virgo. All right, so first of all, before we even dive right into what's up with Virgo, I thought that I would just take a moment to just talk about this new cycle. Because if you are brand new to lunar cycles and you're not really sure why you should care about them, I thought I would kind of give you a little bit of a breakdown, because I felt a little overwhelmed when I first started following the moon as well. So the moon goes through 8 different cycles. More notably, most people pay attention to the new moon and the full moon each month, and it runs about a 29.5-day cycle. So it's almost a full month on a regular basis. We pay attention to the new moon and the full moon because the new moon represents the new beginnings, introspection, reflection. You really have a moment to go within, kind of play off of whatever intentions you set at the beginning of the lunar cycle to see how far you have gone. But it also represents brand new beginnings. So I like to kind of look at what was your intention initially to the month, and then depending on where we're at with the new moon, you can kind of take a moment to reflect and see sort of how everything is working out for you. Full moons are a little bit different because full moons, everything is in fully illumination. It's sort of like everything becomes really visible, both the positive and the negative aspects of your life and other people's lives. And it kind of gives you a lot more clarity. New moon, you can't really see anything. If you look up in the sky tonight, it's going to be completely dark. At this point, it's sort of like if you're trying to relate this back to different seasons, the easiest one that you can relate it back to is winter, where things are still happening underneath the surface, but it's cold. So you're not going to see like flowers blooming or anything like that because there's a snow that's sort of covering it and things are frosty and everything is just sort of going inside, going internal, and going into hibernation. So that's the closest way that I can relate it to you. Now, how does that affect us right now? Well, first of all, we're going to be entering into a new season as we're entering into the next week. So you're already probably feeling a shift. So when we're talking about new beginnings, it makes perfect sense. And Virgo in specifically represents organization. It's a very strong energy for healing and for idealism. Personally, if I'm relating the Virgo energy back to ourselves, it very much honors and favors sacred rituals, creating sacred space, and devotion. But in this case, devotion to yourself, honoring how far you have gone, and honoring what's sort of coming up next for you. Potentially, it's going to be a new beginning anyway, whether it's because it's going to be you entering into a new chapter in your life, both within your career and in your personal life, or you're just entering into a new season. Even just when we enter into a new season is still a new form of a beginning, which requires us to shift and to change and to make adjustments as we can shift alongside this change that is taking place. So I want you to really just take some time and honor that. Take a moment to really reflect, which a lot of people don't. I find that they don't really do as often as they should, because it's almost like we have that conceptualized idea that if I slow down, I'm going to lose a grip of my dreams. I'm going to lose a grip of my goals, and then it will fade away into nothingness. And it's definitely an illusion that a lot of us are gripping onto. So I want you to just take some time and just understand that if you slow down, it will bring more clarity, rather than, it's not the speed that it takes for you to get to your dreams or for you to accomplish your goals. It's more how consistent you are in showing up, to being persistent in actually achieving those goals and to pursue those goals. So it's more important that you're persistent than it is to see how fast you're getting there. So take some time. This would be a perfect time for you to create some beautiful rituals if that's what you're into. You can, if you're not into rituals, then take some time to be out in nature. Take some time to meditate. Take some time to really reflect and ask yourself the question of what it is that you're looking for, what it is that you want, and get really, really clear and intentional. The more specific questions you're asking yourself, the more clarity that it will bring towards exactly what it is that you want. Sometimes when we're rushing through life, it can be really difficult and it can be really challenging to remain open and receptive to new information and new ideas and new ways of doing things when we're really stuck in our way of just achieving our goals, especially if we're looking at career goals or even within relationships. We can be really stuck in our ways. So I'm asking you, and this energy is asking you, to be a little bit more moldable, a little bit more flexible, and don't be so rigid in how you get there or the speed that it will take for you to get there. Just be persistent and unapologetic about what it is that you really want. And the more intentional you are, the more clear you can become of what really matters to you. So I love that. I love that idea of not just embracing. I would also add to this just the simple fact that while you are working with this energy and you are organizing your life and you're getting things in order and you're taking some time to really honor, where you want to go, I would just love to add one major thing that I wish that like a lot of astrologers really just address. As you're changing, as you're entering into this new phase of change, this new beginning, you're getting really amped up to set your new intentions, and you go full throttle. As you're doing that, take a moment to also honor how far you've come, celebrate it, and also understand which aspects of your life is going to be left behind. And yes, I realize that that's usually commonly done with the full moon when you're actually releasing, but I think that it's something, whenever we're closing a chapter on something in our lives, I think that it's really naive to think that it's all positive and we just rush into the next chapter, and without really taking the time to look back and see how far you've come and to see how you have evolved from where you started to right now. Because I guarantee you that you're not the same person that you were. You've gotten stronger, wiser, with more experience, with so much more wisdom behind you. And you might not have the opportunity to really honor that and to celebrate that, but really take some time during your meditation or during your journaling sessions or during your walk in nature, whatever you end up doing, to take a moment to just create a little bit of space so you can reflect. Because we're so quick to set new intentions and new affirmations and new mantras so that we can keep on getting, but it takes a little bit of space and it takes a little bit of time for you to allow that to sink in, and also realize that you need to create some space for those new things to come in. And that also means that when you're creating new space, that means that you need to shed certain things, certain characteristics, certain things that don't serve you, that really served an older version of you or a past version of you. But if you've surpassed it, then maybe it's time to let those things go. So this is when having your thoughts on paper is so extremely powerful, because that's sort of when the truth comes up. That's unfiltered, and it's not, you're not saying things so that it kind of fits somebody else's mold. You're saying things because you're writing things because that's truly what's in your heart. That's truly what's in your intellect. So take some time, be really gentle with yourself at this moon cycle, because it's not about pushing and striving. It's not about, unless you're at a point, whether in your business or in your life, where it's really like tying up those loose ends, that would be the time to kind of finish those things up. And the new moon energy is very much you can really work with that energy for you to be able to like just kind of almost catapult you to that next chapter of your life in whatever shape or form it will take. I'm personally going through a massive change of my own. I'm completing a 3-year cycle, and I'm entering into a new cycle starting in September. It's a brand new chapter in my life, in my career, and in my personal life, because it will affect every single area of my life. And so I relate to everything that I just told you right now. And while I've been sort of prepping and getting ready to work with this energy all week this week, you have today and probably a couple more days after today to really work with this energy and really get clear and intentional. And when you do, and when you allow this energy to move through you, it's very powerful. Things can start working very quickly. So just emotionally and physically prepare your body, so that give it the rest that it requires, give it that mental space that it requires. Don't try to bombard your mind and your space with too much stuff. Don't ask your mind to focus on too many things or to be too many things all at once at the moment, because that's not the time for that right now. It's not the time for you to be just really out and visible and really crushing it. Right now is a time to really go inwards, really have a little bit of introspection, a little bit of reflection, and be gentle with yourself. If you take some time to tune into your own personal intuition, it will always guide you in the direction where you can grow and expand as a human. So I would love to hear from you. You will, by the way, see more of the change that I'm personally talking about in my own personal life. I will be updating you guys on the vlog channel. So if you wanted to check that out, I think I will just leave the link in the description so that when it's ready, you can take a look at that. But we are moving into a larger location, into a bigger space. We're starting renovations. I'm getting the keys today. It's so much movement. It's sort of like when you have a snow globe and then you shake it and then all of the snowflakes are falling everywhere. And it takes a little bit of time energetically to just sort of wait until everything settles. So I'm being very gentle with myself. I'm working with my crystals, with my rituals, being out in nature, taking time to meditate. All of the tools that I generally tell you about, I end up using them really frequently, and I sort of up the intensity or the frequency of them when there's larger changes that are taking place. And I really honor the fact that it needs to move through me in order for it to be completed. And I honor that fact. And I'm really careful about how I speak about these changes, because I don't want you to misunderstand excitement and change to stress, because we're so quick to say, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed out. I'm so stressed out. But I'm actually not stressed out, but there's a lot of information, a lot of energy, a lot of intel coming in, a lot of things for me to process, a lot of decisions to make, and it's exciting and it's fun and it's energetic, but it's also exhausting. So this is sort of when you would be paying attention to what you eat, who you talk to, how much do you talk to them, what environment do you create around yourself, why do you need to really organize your space and create some clarity and create some space where you can actually think more clearly. This is all I wanted to share with you guys. Let me know if you guys, this is your question of the day. I would love to know how this new moon has affected you, if at all. You can actually kind of take a look at your own birth chart, and that will sort of tell you how your astrological sign is affected by Virgo energy, because each of us are going to be affected a little bit differently. So I would love to hear from you guys in the comment, and let me know what's coming up for you. Let me know how you are working with this energy. It should be very interesting. And in the meanwhile, if you are brand new, thank you so much for sticking with me in this video. I hope that you have enjoyed it. If you have, you can give me a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss another video. And in the meanwhile, just keep seeking, you guys. You're so much more powerful than you actually give yourself credit for. And I will see you again in my next video. Bye.